my pleasure.
So welcome. This is my first time as well seeing the work. I think they have been installed this morning. Yeah?
Yes, they will still be installed this morning.
Let's go and check it out.
너무 그리시나 봐, 샤이나.
Yeah, I think I'll explain.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me. So basically this is the end of the story. We will go through the beginning and then we will come back here. So just let's walk through and we will come back here.
I'm gonna, when I get back, I'm gonna try and get some solar
Yeah.
so that you can see them and that.
Yes.
Huh? Do you like them? Do you like them? Really?
Kobe, yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Dandenong Arcade is also amazing to check out. Some of the best seafood butchers, and there is an amazing old school shoe repair guy in there as well. And for any of you who have been to New Zealand and have had a kiwi pie, there's kiwi pies in there as well. And one of the best ones in Dandenong as well.
And there are some bakeries as well, like you can get fresh bread.
Bakeries, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
I literally got my shoes repaired like last week. I picked them
How
up.
could he?
Super quick
He's so
service.
old school. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a new fish.
The other thing I want to do with you is I'm going to see if I can get some anti-aging stuff. Because I didn't realise how much it was. Yeah. Something I didn't consider, honestly. But I knew it was something, but oh, nice. I know, I live under a rock, okay?
Okay. You want?
Yeah, no, you. Yes, go. Yes, good idea.
How is that? Better. Okay, I think everyone is here. So my name is Barat Batoor and I am a Hazara. And I work as a photojournalist back in Afghanistan. So my work have been published in New York Times, Washington Post, Newsweek, and I cover like stories like the death story of Osama bin Laden, people who were like victims of landmines, and many other stories. So one story that I received a grant for was about sexual abuse of children by warlords in Afghanistan, and that story got published on the front page of Washington Post. So as soon as it was published on the paper, I started receiving threats and I had to leave overnight, crossing into Pakistan. But let me tell you about the story first. So this is one picture of that story. It took me around 8 months to gain access to this story. So they are really protective of what is happening. Though it is very widespread, like everybody knows about it, it happens almost everywhere in Afghanistan, but they are very protective of it to get out. So I was wondering why nobody, all these journalists from every part of the world is there, but nobody is talking about this. I was so annoyed and like frustrated. So I said, I will do it. But I didn't know the consequences. I knew it is risky, but I didn't know that it could be that risky. So this is like powerful people, like they abduct children as young as 8 years old, 7 years old, and like they put they train them as dancers, and they put them to work as sex slaves and dancers, and like use them to entertain them in their private parties. I met Shukur in Kabul. He was abducted when he was around 12 years old. He was taken to a northern province, was kept by this former warlord for 5 years or like a few years. After that, he didn't really like that life, so he escaped from his custody and came back to Kabul. But he was not accepted by his own family. Like in that kind of society, like when people are victims of sexual abuse, like they are the ones who are blamed, and he didn't find a place in at his own home, and like society rejected him. So what he did was he didn't know anything else. He grew up doing this thing, so he started the same thing as a freelancer, and I followed his story, and he introduced me to other people as well. Then that story got published on the paper, and then that story of displacement. So I had to run away. I went to Pakistan, Quetta, where I was born. So I was born in Quetta, Pakistan. I grew up there. At that time in Quetta, it was extremely unsafe for the Hazara people. So Hazaras are one of the 3 major ethnic groups in Afghanistan. And the history of Hazaras is that in the late 1880s, more than half of the population of the Hazaras, over 63% of our people were massacred completely. Like that king, he built minarets with the skulls of the Hazaras. He sold our women and men into slavery, like very cheap like prices, into Central Asian market, in Saudi Asian market, and in different other places. So a lot of Hazaras, they escaped from that place. Those who could survive, who could manage to get away, they went to Pakistan, Iran, and other places. And the king and the rulers, like for generations, they imposed heavy taxes on the Hazaras. So to this day, that is happening. I mean, like now we are talking, it's still like they are oppressing the Hazaras in Afghanistan, and they've put heavy taxes on them. Like they are still grabbing our land. They are still like killing our people. They've barred education on every girl, not only Hazaras but everyone. But Hazaras have double demerits, I mean like crimes in that country. So it is extremely difficult for people who are from Hazara background to live. So let's go, I'll take you to Quetta now, Pakistan.
Thank you. There's another bench.
That's a bit far. Oh, I think they will.
Oh, so sorry.
Okay. So this is a picture from Quetta. The Hazaras, they live into two small areas. One is called Alamdar Road and the other one is Hazara Town. So the first group of Hazaras, when, as I said, that they escaped the persecution and they settled in that then India. So there was no Pakistan at that time in the late 1880s. So they settled in Quetta at that time in around 1880s. And then, like, because of the ongoing persecution and oppression against the Hazaras, more and more Hazaras they fled, and Quetta was the safest place for the Hazaras anywhere in the world at that time, and it provided sanctuary for the Hazaras for a very long period. But after 2001, the situation changed. The Hazaras became target in Pakistan as well. So once a safe haven became a very dangerous place for a very small community of around 500,000 to 600,000 population. They were being killed almost every day on the streets, schools, hospitals, public transport, anywhere you name it. They were confined behind military checkpoints in those two areas. You have some background music. And also that behind military checkpoints, like they couldn't go outside. Even if they tried to go, it was a death sentence. People left their businesses, sold their properties, left their jobs. Students couldn't go to universities and colleges because like that militancy or terrorism was state sponsored. We were facing a very big enemy. We could not really get any help from anyone else. Like those militants were on the payroll of the state. So it was extremely difficult for the Hazaras. Let's see some of the other pictures as well, and then I'll tell you the rest of the story. This guy, he's on the top of mountain. So like Hazaras, they are living around this mountain because it is considered to be safe from behind the mountain, but outside, like, it is an open area, so like at least no one can attack from this side. Mountains and graveyards, cemeteries, they are the like places for children to play. There's no parks for them, there's no activities other than these sorts of stuff. So it's a very densely populated area, and the houses have moved very much up on the mountains. Like the streets are narrow and very tough for people to go up and down.
That's right. So that's like every migrant story. Yeah.
The security situation, the targeted killings of the Hazaras almost impacted everyone in the community. Like almost there was any family who haven't been impacted. For instance, like the extent or the intensity of the impact on some families were like very massive. For instance, this family of Ali Baba, they went through 4 different attacks. So Ali Baba, who is in the picture, in the frame picture, he was a vegetable seller. So he used to go early in the morning to the Quetta's main market, vegetable market, which supplies the vegetable and fruit to all the city. First time the bus that he was on a local bus, which had people from different ethnic groups, it was stopped by militants who had heavy machine guns and rocket launchers, and they identified the others and asked them to leave, and only the Hazaras remained on the bus, and they opened fire on them. He survived under a dead body, but he got injured, the first attack. Second attack, he narrowly escaped inside the vegetable market, so he was seconds away when the terrorist attacked and killed many other vegetable sellers. The third time, he was not very lucky. He lost his life. And the fourth attack, his 17 years old son, I think at that time when his father got killed, he was probably 15 or 16. He took over the business, which was very risky, and his father was attacked 3 times. He knew the danger. He lost his father, but they didn't have any other means of income, so he had to do this in order to survive. So he took over, and he was at his vegetable cart in the Hazara area when a bomb blast happened. And then, yeah.
Champion. I'm a champion. I'm here, Australian champion, national champion. Right. What the fuck you saying today?
Just telling stories. Do you want to listen?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, cool. So what happened is, like, then bomb blast happened when he was there at his cart, and his sister was providing him something.
Oh.
So that bomb blast, and they got injured, both of them.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that happened, and this was the 4th time that they got attacked. So this was the situation for the Hazaras in that area.
Hazaras.
So, yeah. So then he, at that time when he got killed, Ali Baba, he was preparing to leave. So Quetta was extremely unsafe for the Hazaras. They were trying to leave the place, and a lot of people, smugglers, were operating there. So many people, they were trying to get away. Let's see the next picture. This is a military training camp or ground for Pakistani military camping ground. So where the military does their training. So that is where the kids, that's where the kids, like now they are using as their playground. Like they have nowhere else to go. They are confined in those military areas. And that was the situation. And that a lot of people, they wanted to leave, and it was unsafe for me as well. So my family was worried about my safety, and I was worried about my safety. While I was there, I was documenting the story of the targeted killings of the Hazaras in Quetta. So while I was there, and I managed to find a people smuggler who got me a Thai visa, so I flew to Thailand. But I decided that I will document my journey. My people, they started coming to Australia in the late 1990s, during the first rule of the Taliban. We heard a lot of stories, people who got lost and lost their lives. Their relatives are still waiting for their loved ones to this day. They are hoping that they might return. They are not accepting that they are gone. So we heard a lot of different stories. I wanted to visualize that. I wanted to document that. Now I have become part of this journey. I wanted to document that. So I took my DSLR camera and a Handycam camera, but I was not sure if I would be allowed to take any photos or videos. So I flew to Thailand, and in there, let's move forward. So I moved, when I got to Thailand, there I contacted another smuggler who managed to, who introduced me to another smuggler who organized our trip to cross the border from Thailand to Malaysia. So that speedboat is coming from Malaysia. We are in Thailand. So this is a smuggler, and we are about to cross the border on that speedboat to the other side, where a Toyota Corolla was waiting for us. They took out the seat, so we were like, they asked us to sit on the floor and keep our heads between our knees so we are not seen from outside. Then we traveled for around 5 hours to KL until we arrived in KL. Let's go to Kuala Lumpur now. Let's know if I'm talking too much. Okay.
I think that's okay.
So in KL, we were handed over to another smuggler who took us to a house, a safe house where it was like a townhouse, double story. There were a few people before us. We joined them and we were asked not to leave the house. It is, neighbors would be suspicious and they will inform Malaysian authorities. And we were not allowed to remove the curtains or look out of the window and things. So it's strictly forbidden to do anything like that. Neighbors get suspicious. And they provided food and things like we were cooking inside and like there was nothing to do. More people kept coming and joining us. So we spent 3 days and nights there. More when the group was completed, then the smuggler arranged our trip to go to Jakarta. So we traveled into 2 7-seaters for around 2 hours and to a coastal area. Like we jumped out of those moving cars into that kind of small jungle or forest next to the water, and it was pitch dark. We stayed there for there was another smuggler waiting for us. We waited there for around 2 hours until a sound of a speedboat came, and we all boarded on that speedboat. Let's go to Jakarta, Indonesia. Sorry. Okay. In Indonesia, we were taken to a wooden house where the smugglers, like we had to pay for the next leg of the smuggler. So he is now currently counting the money. We were 16 people. Each of us, we paid 16,000 American dollars. Like each of us 1,000 American dollars, but in total 16,000 for the next leg of journey from here to Jakarta. So, and we traveled for 21 hours non-stop. We were not allowed to get out of those 7-seaters, and then outside of an airport, like they cleared the checkpoint, the security, and they without any boarding and things. So we got directly into the aeroplane and we flew to Jakarta. Let's go to Jakarta now. When we arrived in Jakarta, I spent the night in Jakarta, and the next day we went to Bogor. In Bogor, most of the people who were seeking asylum and refugees, they were like living in Bogor, waiting for like to get a bird or find a smuggler or for their claims to be processed. And I joined a group of 8 people. 3 of my roommates, after 2 or 3 days, they left. And after 3 or 4 days, we heard that their boat sank. They offered me to be on that boat. I narrowly escaped that day. So 2 of my roommates, they went missing along with 90 other people, and only 50 or 60 people who were on board, like they were rescued. And one of my roommates will also survive. So he told me the stories later on, like what happened. And here in this picture, this guy is testing his life jacket for the sea travel. Yeah, that's me.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
I spent a month in Bogor until I found a smuggler. The challenge for me was that I needed to take my cameras with me to on board, because when you find a smuggler, they call you to gather at one place, they lock you up, and dear man, they strip search everyone for electronic devices, especially for mobile phones and any other electronic device. So I had my DSLR camera and Handycam with me. It was difficult for me. I couldn't hide it, like even if I were. So I needed to negotiate with a smuggler. So I found one, and when I met him, I said, I will go with you, but I have a condition. So he was surprised. Oh, a condition from a refugee, like, because usually we are at Dear Mercy, we don't have any say in that business. But I had a team, like we said, like we will go all with you, like we were 7, 8 people. And he said, what is that? I said, we will go with you if you allow me to take my cameras with me. He was very suspicious of me, and then he couldn't say no to the business because each of us were about, like we're paying 6,000 American dollars. So like multiply by that, it was big money. He didn't want to lose that. They were just coming into the business, and they said yes, only on a condition that you won't take photos until you are on the boat. I said, deal. Okay, and this is the speedboat that was taking us towards the main vessel. Yep. Oh, okay, cool. So the first day and night went smoothly. Like we were told that it will be a cargo ship. There will be food, there will be water, there will be life jackets, there will be satellite phone. But all of them were live, except for a few very third quality life jackets and few like water. That's all there was, and it was an old fishing boat. At night we didn't see what it was, but when it was bright, the next day we realized it was an old fishing boat, 93 people on board. It was overloaded. So the first, like everybody was asked to go below deck. So this photo won the Nikon Walkley Photo of the Year in 2013. And this guy, they are like everyone was asked to go below deck, and there were diesel tanks, and like everyone was seasick, and the diesel tank, the smell of that was also making people sick. So they were taking turns, and it was not enough space for all these around 90 people in that like below deck. So they were taking turns to come up to get some fresh air. So I took this photo, and this was the photo of the year that in 2013. Yeah, let's go to the next one. But the second night, things got very bad. In the middle of Indian Ocean, the water got very rough. Our boat leaked. One of the motor pumps stopped working. So we were bailing water with pots and buckets. It was dark. When it was dark, we were turning our torches on and off to get any attention of any passing boats or anything. But there was really nothing. We were just kind of trying our best to survive because the waves were higher than, like very high, like those branches of the trees. Our boat was like flying in the air and like hitting the water, and the noise was scary, very scary. And we all thought, this is the end. We were seeing like how our lives are going to end. But the captain told us that if we turn back, maybe we will survive. If we keep going forward further, like the water is getting rougher and rougher. I saw in the GPS, like we were literally between Christmas Island and Java. There was nothing else, all water around us and high waves. And so the next day, when it was a bit brighter, people started like waving their life jackets. So this is the thing that I captured on that day.
Thank you, Batoor. Oh, is there more? No?
Yeah, we are almost.
If you want to just wrap
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
This is the wrap. You won't hear me a lot. Okay. So after 7 or 8 hours, we sighted an island, and our boat crashed onto the rocks. Everybody started jumping into the water. Many of them, they didn't know swimming, so like they were just stumbling, and they managed to get to the shore. I was one of the last ones. I took these last photos, put my camera into my bag, and gave it to my friend. I said, like, I'll go down, give the bag to me. I stepped on a hard rocks, I asked him to give me the bag, and when I got it, I put my second step, I went in. I drowned, and like the bag also fell into the water. When I swam to the shore, and when I arrived, I got there and I checked my camera, it was gone. I was so pissed off, like more than the failure of my trip. I lost all the images that probably at that time I was unsure that someone could have captured it the first time in the history, and I have lost it. I won't get these images again. So this was once in a lifetime. So we rushed into the jungle, and we realized quickly not to get caught by Indonesian police. And then we realized that it was a thick forest. The nearest village will take us 3 days and night to get there. We didn't have food, we didn't have water, and it had wild animals as well. So we spent the night at the beach. The next day, from a nearby island, a tourist island, they informed the Indonesian authorities, and the Indonesian police came and arrested us and took us to a detention center. They strip searched us, and they took our money, shoes, and phones. But miraculously, they didn't touch my bag where my cameras were. So, and we stayed that day. The following night, we kept checking their movements. Around 3 a.m. when they set around the fire, we removed 2 glass slates from the window and slipped through. We didn't have shoes, so there were like trees next to the tall wall, topped with shards of glass. So we had to cross that now, and we took bed sheet and pillar, put the pillow on that, climbed the tree, put the pillow on the shards of glass, and jumped on the other side. And I escaped to Jakarta. So if you need to know more about this story, watch my film tonight.
God bless you, Arar.